What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Going to talk about Terence Crawford and Jeff Horn. Trying to focus this week on the bouts we have this upcoming week, and of course, the probably the biggest one is for the WBO welterweight championship between Terence Bud Crawford of Omaha, Nebraska, and Jeff the Hornet Horn from Australia. And I gotta hand it to Jeff Horn. I've done a couple videos over the last few days about this, but he is really holding up his end of the bargain when it comes to promoting this bout and making the bout exciting to see what's going to happen. And he's making some wild predictions. Thank you to the subscriber that sent me these articles coming out of foxsports.com out of Australia. And they're talking about a knockout, man. The most respected figures in Australian boxing back Jeff Horn to knock out Terence Crawford. Not win, knockout Terence Crawford. And they compare it to Tszyu versus Judah. Now, I got to tell you, man, I love it. I love that they're talking this bout up. I really wish that this would get more out into the American media, because I don't hear anywhere near the amount of promotion for this bout in the United States as I do here coming out of Australia. My understanding is that this is going to be on Australian pay-per-view. Someone told me that. I have not seen that verified, but my understanding is that it will be. So consequently, Jeff Horn has a good reason to sell this bout. His trainer has a good reason to sell his bout, besides just wanting to win. The fact that Jeff Horn could be walking away with a lot of money off of this, which has to be, back-to-back fights for the Australian fight fans like this, got to be, a very, very exciting time for Australian boxing. So before I get into that, though, I'm going to go through this in detail. Hey, I appreciate everybody that subscribes to the channel. Please, if you've not, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can get notified of when we drop more content. And also, we talk about we have really good live streams, so I hope that you'll be able to attend those. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel through Venmo, through Super Chat, through Patreon. Everything you do is highly appreciated. And also, thank you to everybody that leaves the comments, shares the videos. It's all good, man. Appreciate it so much. So let me get into this real quick. I'm telling you, I'm excited about this, man. I like Jeff Horn. I like Terence Crawford. And the bout last year with Terence Crawford with Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao was it was really entertaining for me on the lead up, because I knew that Jeff Horn had a shot in that bout. And I thought that Jeff Horn is, he's a much better boxer than people were giving him credit for. And then we were treated to a very good bout between Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao. I personally think the bout could have went either way for Manny Pacquiao or for Jeff Horn. But there was a lot of excitement in that. Then there was a lot of excitement for me being, the boxing nerd that I am, boxing news nerd that I am, with all the stuff that took place afterward with the relationship with Jeff Horn and Bob Arum, also Manny Pacquiao, and how all this stuff came to be, that we find ourselves waiting for an exciting bout on ESPN Plus. Hate that I had to pay for that, but hey, man, I'm going to do it, or I did it already. And so I'll be tuning into this fight. So that's why I'm really excited about this. Now, as far as this article, the most respected figures in Australian boxing back Jeff Horn to knock out Terence Crawford. The greatest figures in Australian boxing are all backing Jeff Horn against Terence Crawford in his world welterweight title defense on Sunday, as master coach Johnny Lewis urges the Brisbane hero to unleash hell in the opening 3 rounds. Lewis famously incited Kostya to attack another cocky American, Judah, at the same fight venue, the MGM Grand, in 2001, leaving the trash talker from New York jelly-legged by the second round. Lewis is urging Horn to turn Sunday's battle into a real dogfight, saying the world champ can use his size, strength, and proven tenacity to grind Crawford down. And Lewis has been backed by Aussie greats Jeff Finich, Danny Green, Barry Michael, and Anthony Mundine, who all say Horn can knock out both Crawford and the bookmakers who gave the world champ virtually no hope against the undefeated American. Lewis says Horn will be hailed as the greatest boxer in the world if he can stun Crawford, who has not lost since his amateur days 10 years ago. Everyone loves Jeff Horn because he's a beautiful person. But boy, can he fight, Lewis said. He has to go after Crawford early with everything. Lewis always advises his boxers when facing slick opponents, if you can't hit his chin, smash him in the sternum, then hook him in the liver, hard, really hard. That's his advice to Horn. Jeff doesn't have to fight dirty, but anywhere above the groin where he sees skin, he has to bang Crawford hard and often, he said. Kostya overpowered Zab Judah, and Jeff Horn can do it on Sunday. Sharp boxers like Crawford can be a little rattled by constant pressure, and once their rhythm goes, so does all their confidence and their defense. Finich, Lewis's greatest fighter, said, I believe Jeff can beat Crawford as long as he gets a fair shake from the American officials. He has to be evasive as he's coming in because Crawford is a sharpshooter, but he can stay on top of Crawford early and not let him settle. He will bring the world title back home with him to Australia. Jeff Horn is not an ordinary fighter. He is really something special, a super talent. He can win the bout. Danny Green describes Horn as a real terrier. That's so funny to me to hear. Like we would say just a real dog, but a real terrier. Crawford is not super fast, he said, but he relies on superb placement and timing, which is exactly what gives Jeff every chance. Jeff is so unconventional and unorthodox in his attack. Barry Michaels, perhaps the toughest boxer Australia has produced, said, Jeff has to jump on Crawford at the first bell, get up on his chest, and stick to him like glue. Anthony Mundine, who was hoping for a bout with Horn later in the year, added, Crawford is a beast, but Jeff has such an unusual style that he can pull off the upset. Jeff gets hit a few times, but he's tough, unconventional, and awkward. He has to make it a real brawl like he did when he beat Pacquiao, and he has to disguise his attacks. He can't come in square on. He has to feint with his feet a lot to keep Crawford off balance and guessing. Hey, I think that is some pretty, man, I really enjoyed that news article. I think that was a very good analysis of what Jeff Horn has to do heading into that bout. The Kostya Tszyu comparison with Zab Judah. Now I'm telling you, that was for the people that remember that bout. And let me tell you, to the extent that there are some of these Anthony Joshua fan guys that aren't going to watch this video, you know they don't remember that bout. Because that was 17 years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Jay Nady stopped that bout. He did not have to stop that bout. He did not have to. Yes, Kostya Tszyu. Actually, I thought I had Zab Judah winning that bout until Kostya Tszyu caught him. But when he caught him, he had him dancing and buckling him. This was hilarious. But anyway, so Kostya Tszyu won that fight. But look, this is what I got to say about the Kostya Tszyu Zab Judah comparison. I appreciate what they're saying though, and that was that particular guy Lewis's boxer. I do believe anyway. I'm not sure Jeff Horn is Kostya Tszyu. a Costa Tszyu level boxer, but I know Zab Judah is not a Terence Crawford. Zab Judah is a front runner. I don't see Terence Crawford having been a front runner. I think that Zab Judah he's faster. He had faster hands. I do believe maybe at 140 pounds, he probably did hit harder than Terence Crawford did. But I don't think he's as big. I don't think he's as long. And I don't think he's as well-rounded a boxer as Terence Crawford is. And Jeff Horn, from what I can see, does not have that one. He doesn't have that, just put you out power. The thing about Kostya Tszyu is if Kostya Tszyu landed on you, Kostya Tszyu can put you out of there. And that's what I think happened with Zab Judah. He just got hit with something that was real big, real heavy from Kostya Tszyu. And, Zab Judah's defense wasn't always the best. And on top of that, I think that Jay Nady could have let that fight go. I mean, I think that he wobbled Zab Judah, but I don't think Zab Judah deserved to lose a fight like that. Now the fact of the matter is, Kostya Tszyu might have wound up getting Kostya Tszyu could have wound up hitting him again and winning the fight that way, clipping him again and hurting him again. But it's a long time ago, but it still kind of sits sore on my memory. Now, the guy that I think that really does sound more like what these guys are describing, more so than Kostya Tszyu, is what Ricky Hatton did to Kostya Tszyu. Now, the way that they're describing Ricky, that how Jeff Horn needs to go after Terence Crawford, that sounds more like a Ricky Hatton approach. And what Ricky Hatton did by just keeping so much pressure and just being really, really on top of and coming forward at Kostya Tszyu, which allowed him to beat Kostya Tszyu. That sounds like, more of what he's talking about, less so than Kostya Tszyu, because I don't think Kostya Tszyu was really much. I didn't see him really being, if I recall correctly, I have to go back and look at Kostya Tszyu's matches again. But Kostya Tszyu was less of a Kostya Tszyu was a boxer. He was a boxer with a very, very heavy right hand. I don't think it was a southpaw, but a very, very heavy right hand. I think basically a stereotypical Eastern European style boxer, more like a Sergey Kovalev, if I recall correctly, and less like a Ricky Hatton. But as far as the approach that Anthony Mundine said that they need to take, and that Jeff Horn needs to take in order to win this bout, I think that he's absolutely right. He's gonna have to keep Terence Crawford off balance. He's gonna have to really go at Terence Crawford and have to try to wear Terence Crawford down. A little bit of a combination of Jarrett Hurd's approach with Austin Trout, but not taking all of those shots, not taking all the shots that Jarrett Hurd was taking from Austin Trout in order to get that fight over. So, or maybe like a Jarrett Hurd versus Islandi Lara, if he could take that approach. Now, if that size advantage is that great, and Jeff Horn is willing to just continually take shots from Terence Crawford, man, and cut off the ring and just really just be able to do that for 12 rounds, then yeah, man. I mean, if he does that, he's got a chance if he can get to the knockout. If he can't get to the knockout fighting like that, he's going to lose. He's going to lose on decision. He's going to lose a unanimous decision. And if it winds up that Terence Crawford really has more strength at 147 than he did at 140, Jeff Horn might wind up getting put up out of there. But again, and I do think that Jeff Horn is going to get put out of there. That's, I like Jeff Horn, but I've said this every single solitary time that I've talked about this bout, and I'm gonna talk about this bout throughout this week and the different things that are coming up, because that, along with the other matches that are happening, which are Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz, Jermell Charlo, and Austin Trout, as well as my man, the Mac is back, Tyson Fury. That's what I'm gonna try to talk about as much as I can this week, and so we can really like hone in on what's happening in these fights. I'm telling you, I'm really, this is one of the best weekends of boxing so far this year for me. I really did like, the other one with, Adrian Bronner, Charlo, and Gervonta Davis was also a very, very good weekend of boxing. This weekend, it's hitting it from all kind of different angles. So I'm really looking forward to that. But anyway, I digress. Jeff Horn, I believe, is going to get stopped on cuts. So if what he does is if he does do what they're telling him to do, which is, just make it a real brawl like he did when he beat Pacquiao, right? Make it a real brawl. That means, you're going to take some shots and you got a face that opens up. You know what I mean? And here's the thing with Terence Crawford for me. The chance that he really has with Terence Crawford is that Terence Crawford winds up approaching this and getting caught up in a Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran 1 type of situation, where he feels like he's going to go in there and he's going to teach Jeff Horn a lesson. He's going to sit down, he's going to exchange and really show his power, show his welterweight power to Jeff Horn. If he does that and that doesn't work, and that encourages and emboldens Jeff Horn, right, and gets the judges looking at him, like he's really coming on or whatever, that could cause problems for Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford is somebody that I've seen have issues. Like, one of the things that Jeff Horn talked about was that Crawford had been wobbled by Gamboa. And specifically what he says is that I don't think his chin has been tested. Speaking of Terence Crawford, I think when he got hit by Gamboa and wobbled by a super featherweight, you can't wait until you get hit by Jeff Horn. You won't just wobble, you'll fall over. I saw something a lot different. I saw something in a lot of different Crawford fights. He's a brilliant boxer. We can't take anything away from his skill. He's in the peak of his career. It's in his own backyard. I just want to go into the fight and say, no excuses, Terence. Whoever wins, right? Got it. So basically he's saying, that his chin might be suspect. And I don't believe so. I mean, first of all, I'm not quite sure. Now, this might sound crazy, but I'm not 100% sure that a straight shot, that Yuriokas Gamboa with one straight shot doesn't hit as hard as Jeff Horn. I don't see Jeff Horn as being somebody that's got a tremendously powerful punch. Yuriokas Gamboa, on the other hand, even for a little dude who's a super featherweight, that little dude can hit, man. It's kind of like Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is down at 130 pounds, right? And you have Sergey Lipinets, fighting at 140 pounds. But I think that on one given shot, I think Gervonta Davis probably hits harder than Sergey Lipinets does, right? Because there can be two people. It is possible for a little guy to have more power than a specific big guy. But the general rule is that, the bigger guys have more power. And I've seen him get hit. I've also seen Terence Crawford get hit by Felix Diaz, and it really didn't do too much. It didn't cause him too much problem at all, man. But, we'll see. As far as this knockout happening, I'm still going with my same prediction that Terence Crawford is going to stop him on cuts. I've been saying that since Terence Crawford was named as mandatory, and that shady business going on with the WBO and Bob Arum. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm looking forward to a great bout either way it goes. But once again, Just so people ain't confused, I'm picking Terence Crawford, but I like Jeff Horn. Either way of it, man, we're gonna have, a major heavyweight, a major welterweight champion that can get into the mix with the other champions, and hopefully we can get around in the next year, year, 2 years, to having a unified champion at 147 pounds. And both Terence Crawford and Jeff Horn can be very good pieces to that puzzle. And with that, I'm out. Peace.